Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a life where abundance flows effortlessly to you, where every door swings open at the very mention of a single declaration. Understand this: money, like energy, responds to the vibrations of your words. One powerful sentence, uttered with conviction, can align you with the wealth destined to be yours. Say to yourself, "I now joyously receive huge sums of money sent to me in perfect ways." Feel the vibration of those words fill every cell, every breath, every heartbeat. Let them resound in your mind as though written across the sky itself. These words are not mere letters. They are seeds you plant in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Words are not mere sounds carried on the air. They are living forces that move through the unseen world, shaping conditions and circumstances. Every sentence spoken with deep conviction sets a vibration into motion, and that vibration cannot return empty. When one truly understands that words are carriers of power, there is no room for careless speech or idle declarations, for each statement plants a seed in the garden of consciousness. Just as a farmer would never scatter seeds at random without knowing what will grow, so too must we become deliberate planters of our words. If we desire prosperity, we must speak prosperity. If we long for abundance, we must declare abundance. And when this is done with sincerity and faith, the very atmosphere around us begins to respond, arranging circumstances, drawing opportunities, and aligning the flow of wealth. The sentence chosen as our affirmation becomes the key to unlock the storehouse of riches. Each time it is spoken, it vibrates through the invisible ethers, carrying with it a call to the forces of supply. The universe responds to clarity and certainty. A statement filled with hesitation or doubt has little effect, for the energy behind it is weak. But a declaration charged with belief resounds like a great bell, impossible to ignore. The unseen law, eternal and unfailing, sets into motion all that is necessary to fulfill the word spoken. In this way, words are more than expressions. They are commands, and the universe obeys. To recognize the weight of words is to awaken to a higher level of responsibility. How often do people declare poverty without realizing they are chaining themselves to lack? They say, "I can't afford this," or "money never comes my way." And by repeating such phrases, they seal their reality with the very scarcity they dread. In contrast, the one who understands the spiritual law chooses words that mirror the life they desire, not the life they fear. They declare, "I am supplied, I am prospered, I am surrounded by abundance." Such words are not vain repetitions. They are powerful affirmations aligning thought and feeling with infinite supply. When this truth is grasped, every spoken word becomes an opportunity to create. No longer do we speak lightly. No longer do we allow negativity to escape our lips, for we know that each utterance has consequences. Instead, we shape our speech with care, speaking forth health, joy, love, and riches. The practice of repeating one powerful sentence of prosperity with focus and joy transforms the atmosphere of the mind. It lifts consciousness out of limitation and into expectation, and expectation is the magnet that draws wealth. What we continually affirm, we eventually experience. Thus, to attract huge sums of money, the key lies not in labor alone, nor in circumstance, but in the words we continually release. A single sentence, charged with faith and spoken as truth, becomes the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between desire and fulfillment, between thought and manifestation. The affirmation, "I now joyously receive huge sums of money sent to me in perfect ways," is not just a string of words. It is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the subconscious mind. When this sentence is spoken with sincerity, it creates an imprint upon the inner self, which in turn directs the outer world to respond. Just as a gardener plants a seed and trusts the earth to nurture it until it becomes a tree, so too does the individual plant this affirmation within their consciousness and trust that it will bear fruit in due season. The subconscious mind is always at work, quietly and persistently, arranging conditions to match the images and declarations it has received. When this sentence is spoken repeatedly, it impresses itself upon the inner mind until it becomes a conviction that no outer circumstance can shake. Every word in the sentence carries power. The word joyously is a key vibration, for joy opens doors that struggle and worry cannot. To receive money joyously means to expect it without fear, without guilt, and without resistance. Many people long for money, but secretly feel unworthy of it or uneasy about having it. They block the flow with doubt or with hidden beliefs that wealth is selfish or wrong. But when the affirmation is spoken with joy, the heart becomes light, and the channels of supply open wide. Joy signals faith, and faith always brings results. The phrase, huge sums of money, calls upon the subconscious not for scraps, not for a meager supply, but for abundance in overflowing measure. The mind is expanded by the very sound of those words. To say huge sums is to enlarge expectation, to declare that the universe is limitless, and that one is ready to receive from its boundless storehouse. It pushes aside the small, fearful thoughts of barely getting by, and replaces them with a vision of plenty. The subconscious does not question, it accepts the command and sets about attracting opportunities, ideas, and resources that reflect the magnitude of what has been affirmed. The words sent to me in perfect ways are equally vital. They release the need to force results or worry about how the money will come. Too often, people sabotage their affirmations by trying to dictate the exact channel or source of supply, but by adding in perfect ways. The affirmation entrusts the process to divine intelligence, which knows the swiftest and most harmonious path. It allows money to arrive through expected and unexpected means, whether through work, gifts, new ventures, or unforeseen blessings, always in ways that are just and right. This phrase relieves the mind of strain and opens it to miracles. When repeated daily, the affirmation becomes more than words. It becomes a belief, and belief is the magnet that draws the substance of things hoped for into visible form. Each repetition strengthens the seed in the subconscious, watering it with faith and sunlight of joy. Over time, the outer life begins to reflect the inner declaration, and abundance flows with grace and ease, proving the truth that what is spoken with conviction must manifest. Faith is the invisible bridge that carries a spoken word into visible form, and doubt is the shadow that blocks its path. When a declaration of prosperity is made, it is faith that gives it wings and sends it soaring into the realm of manifestation. Without faith, words remain hollow, stripped of their creative power. To affirm abundance with doubt in the heart is like planting a seed in barren soil. It cannot grow. But when faith accompanies an affirmation, the seed is planted deep in rich, fertile ground, and life begins to stir beneath the surface, unseen yet inevitable. Belief activates the unseen forces that govern supply, and once activated, nothing can prevent their perfect operation. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is certainty before the evidence appears. It is the quiet knowing that what has been spoken must come to pass. It is the inner assurance that there is an invisible law of good working at all times, whether or not it can be detected by the physical senses. This is why doubt is so destructive, for it cancels out the very energy needed to bring the word to life. A person may speak of prosperity 100 times, but if each word is shadowed by fear and disbelief, it is as though nothing was spoken at all. The universe answers not the voice alone, but the conviction behind it. When one declares, "I now joyously receive huge sums of money sent to me in perfect ways," and holds unwavering faith in its truth, the subconscious begins to align every detail of life with that statement. Circumstances shift, ideas emerge, opportunities unfold, all because belief has set unseen law into motion. Faith tells the universe, "I am ready to receive," and the universe always answers readiness with supply. Doubt, however, tells the universe, "I am not sure if I can receive," and the law responds accordingly. One either receives abundance or delays it by the quality of inner belief. To live in faith is to live as though the blessing has already been delivered. It is to act, speak, and think from the place of prosperity, even before the evidence has appeared. Such a posture magnetizes supply, for like attracts like. When a person thinks from abundance, they create the conditions for abundance to manifest. Faith is the substance that draws the unseen into form, the assurance that prepares the mind and heart to welcome the good already on its way. Every moment of wavering must be met with renewal. If doubt whispers, faith must answer louder. The mind must be trained to return to the truth, to the affirmation, to the vision of prosperity that is already unfolding. Faith is a discipline, a practice, a constant alignment with higher law. The one who persists in belief, despite appearances, becomes unshakable, and the unshakable always receive. For faith never fails. It is the golden key that unlocks every closed door and brings into the visible world the riches that have been promised. Money and opportunity are not confined to a single channel, nor are they limited by the circumstances that appear before the eyes. When the mind is open and expectant, supply finds countless avenues through which to arrive. A declaration of prosperity, spoken with confidence, summons resources from directions both seen and unseen. Sometimes it may come as an unexpected check in the mail, at other times as a new idea that blossoms into a thriving venture, and at still other times as a person whose generosity or partnership opens a door that seemed forever closed. The spoken word sets the law of circulation into motion, and once this law is engaged, it cannot fail to bring forth opportunities. The mind often tries to predict or control how money will come, clinging to one source or one path. This narrowness creates resistance, as though the stream of abundance must squeeze through a pinhole. But when the affirmation, "I now joyously receive huge sums of money sent to me in perfect ways," is spoken, it loosens the grip of limitation. The phrase "in perfect ways" acknowledges that the channels of supply are infinite, and it allows divine intelligence to choose the swiftest and most harmonious path. Instead of straining or worrying, one learns to trust that provision may arrive through any number of means, each perfectly suited to the moment. Opportunities themselves are a form of currency. The right idea, the right contact, the right opening can lead to financial blessings far beyond what the imagination first conceived. To affirm abundance with expectation is to tune the inner ear to hear these opportunities knocking. Without expectation, they may pass unnoticed, but with an alert and receptive mind, they are recognized and seized. The spoken word sharpens perception, training the individual to notice what others overlook, and to act upon the very chance that leads to prosperity. Generosity is also a part of this flow. Often, the law of supply operates through people who are inspired to give, to assist, or to share their wealth in unexpected ways. When someone declares prosperity for themselves, they are not taking from another, but rather aligning with the natural circulation of good. In this circulation, giving and receiving are inseparable. The gift that flows to one person may inspire them to give in return, creating a chain of blessing that touches many lives. This is why it is said that the more one receives joyfully, the more they are able to give freely, and thus the circle of abundance continues without end. The beauty of this truth is its unpredictability. One may expect a small opportunity and instead receive a great one. One may think provision will come through work alone, and yet it arrives as a gift or inheritance. One may imagine a slow, gradual increase, and instead witness a sudden windfall. The law of abundance does not move by human reasoning. It moves by divine order, always on time, always in the perfect way. By releasing the need to control and by affirming with faith, one becomes a magnet for all forms of supply, proving that money and opportunity are ever flowing, ever present, and endlessly abundant. Gratitude is the golden key that unlocks the storehouse of abundance. It is the attitude that turns little into much and opens the way for more to flow. When one speaks an affirmation such as, "I now joyously receive huge sums of money sent to me in perfect ways," and follows it with a heart full of thanks, the vibration of those words multiplies in power. Gratitude is not a polite gesture or empty ritual. It is a living energy that magnifies whatever it touches. The thankful heart signals to the universe that the gift has already been received, and by that acknowledgement, the law of attraction hastens its delivery into visible form. To say thank you before the blessing appears is an act of supreme faith. It is a declaration that the invisible has already been made visible, that the promise is already fulfilled, and that one is standing in the midst of abundance, even if the senses do not yet confirm it. Gratitude plants the consciousness firmly in the realm of completion. Instead of looking outward and saying, "I am waiting," the grateful soul proclaims, "It is done." This assurance becomes a magnet for the very thing desired, for the universe responds to certainty, not hesitation. Those who live in complaint or discontent unknowingly block their own supply. When one complains of lack, one reinforces the very condition they wish to escape. The law of life reflects back what is impressed upon it. Complaints bring more to complain about, while gratitude brings more to be grateful for. The simple act of shifting from grumbling to thanksgiving changes the entire vibration of a person's being. It raises the frequency, lifts the spirit, and clears the way for blessings to flow unhindered. Gratitude is the language of abundance, and when spoken fluently, it calls forth riches from every direction. Gratitude also softens the heart and makes one a better receiver. Many long for prosperity, but when it comes, they feel unworthy, awkward, or suspicious of the gift. Gratitude removes this resistance. To give thanks freely is to welcome the blessing with open arms, to say, "Yes, I am ready. Yes, I am worthy. Yes, I receive with joy." Such an attitude ensures that supply not only comes but stays, for it finds a home in the heart of the thankful. Prosperity is not meant to slip through our fingers, but to dwell with us, grow with us, and bless others through us. Gratitude establishes this permanence. Every act of gratitude, no matter how small, strengthens the channel of supply. To thank the universe for a penny is to prepare the way for a pound. To appreciate the little daily provisions is to prove oneself ready for the larger windfalls. Gratitude multiplies whatever it embraces, for it tells the law of life, "This is good, and I welcome more." In this way, gratitude becomes the multiplying force that ensures abundance continues to flow, increasing in measure and perfection, until life overflows with prosperity. Repetition is the chisel that carves truth into the mind, and a single powerful sentence, spoken again and again with conviction, reshapes the very fabric of thought. The mind, left unchecked, often drifts into worry, fear, or limitation. But when the affirmation of abundance is repeated daily, it interrupts old patterns and establishes a new rhythm of prosperity. Each utterance of the phrase, "I now joyously receive huge sums of money sent to me in perfect ways," imprints itself deeper into the subconscious, until it becomes not just a statement, but a belief. And belief, once firmly planted, manifests without effort. The subconscious mind learns through repetition. Just as a child learns the alphabet by reciting it again and again, so too does the inner mind learn prosperity by hearing it spoken repeatedly. With each repetition, doubt is weakened and certainty is strengthened. Over time, the affirmation ceases to feel like a wish or a dream and becomes a declaration of fact. The subconscious, which accepts all things as true, begins to organize thoughts, impulses, and actions in harmony with that declaration. This is why daily repetition is essential. It trains the inner self to accept abundance as the natural order of life. The power of repetition lies not in monotony, but in persistence. Many give up too soon, believing their words have no effect because results are not immediately visible. Yet just as a seed takes time to sprout, affirmations take time to bear fruit. Each repetition is like watering that seed, nourishing it with attention and faith. Eventually, the roots grow strong beneath the surface, and the manifestation breaks through into the visible world. The one who persists in repeating their affirmation, even when nothing seems to change, will always see results, for the law of mind cannot fail. Daily repetition also serves to guide actions and choices. When prosperity is spoken constantly, the mind becomes alert to opportunities that align with wealth. A person repeating their affirmation may suddenly notice a chance for business, an idea for creative work, or an opening to increase income that they would have overlooked otherwise. The repeated sentence not only shapes thought but sharpens awareness, leading the individual to act in ways that fulfill the very prosperity they are affirming. In this way, repetition creates both inner change and outer results. The repetition of an affirmation should always be filled with feeling, not spoken mechanically. Words spoken without emotion carry little power, but words charged with joy, gratitude, and expectation vibrate with creative force. When the sentence is spoken with conviction, the repetition becomes an act of faith, a steady hammer that breaks down barriers of limitation and builds a new structure of abundance. Day after day, the affirmation becomes the background music of the mind, until prosperity feels not only possible, but inevitable. And when prosperity feels inevitable, it manifests as experience, proving that repetition is the pathway by which words become reality, and affirmations become living truth.